Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you very much. Well, you all look fabulous today in all your pastels. So where's the bonnets? I know you got them. You're hiding them in the car, didn't you? All right, you can wear them after service. We want to see it. I want to just begin by saying, if you've ever been to church and you were in a church where you weren't allowed to laugh, you just take the words of Reverend Dolores Berry. She said, "Be healed today." You know, because Jesus said, "I came that you have my joy and have it complete," and part of having that joy is laughter, right? And, you know, I was thinking about, what if this was Sunday was shortest sermon Sunday? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Get to brunch sooner, huh? Yeah. But you know what? It's not going to be shortest sermon Sunday. But here's what my sermon would be if it was. He's back. Huh? That's it. All right. Let's pray. Loving God, bless us this morning. We thank you for the gift of Christ in our lives. And we just ask now that you would help us to be open, being refreshed by your living word today. We thank you for all of the blessings and the many blessings yet to come. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Well, it was a day unlike any other. The Berries felt as though they had to do something, even though there they were in the midst of their grief. I can imagine that you could even see their grief on them, in the lines on their faces, in the heavy ways of which they were walking with the spices. And then during the midst of all of this, but they felt like they had to do something. Something had to be done, even with their grief. You know how you need to do something in that time? And so there they are walking, and they're having a conversation about what are they going to do about the big stone? Who's going to roll away the stone? And, you know, all I can think of is Salt and Pepper. How many of you have heard of Salt and Pepper, the trio? Okay, we got a few hipsters here. Yeah, okay. The Salt and Pepper. And you know how their one-hit wonder in their song was, push it back, way back. So I can hear them saying, push it, Mary, Mary, Mary. Now, see, the story could have stopped right there, right? They were having this conversation, and they're worried about who's going to roll away the stone. And they could have done like most churches do and put a committee together to discuss it. Right? Could very well have done that. Or they could have just said, what the heck, why bother? Let's go back and not do anything. Right? But even in spite of what they perceived to be the obstacles, they went ahead anyway. Instead of sitting around thinking of all the reasons why they shouldn't go. The lesson here for us is just because we don't have the answer at the moment doesn't mean we should give up. Right? Sometimes showing up is the most important part. And they showed up, and look what happened. What an amazing, amazing lesson that is. So if you do that, though, you may be like them. You may be surprised. You may be even alarmed by what you find when you go, if you do actually show up. These moments of surprise and wonder can create those feelings, though, of terror and amazement, even when it's something good, right? We usually imagine the worst case scenario, though, don't we? Why is that? Rather than thinking, you know what? It's going to work out. It's going to be good. and allowing ourselves to be fully surprised that it is, we too often think about what could be wrong. Now, Mark's gospel goes on to record the words that are central to our Christian faith. He has been raised. He's not here. Christ has died. Christ has risen. Christ shall come again. You could have done hallelujahs again, but I just... The various accounts of the Gospels all have their own nuances. In this particular one, the stone has been rolled back and there's one angel sitting there. In another of the Gospels, there's two angels and there was an earthquake. In another one, they just showed up and the stone was already rolled away. But no matter what you believe, even with the differences in those, whether you believe in the bodily or the spiritual resurrection of Christ, there is no doubt that something miraculous happened that day. Something miraculous happened. And it changed the world forever. Mark's gospel ends with the Marys running in terror, in their fear, vowing not to tell anyone. Guess what? Story got out anyway. And we know the rest of the story too, don't we? We read about it in the book of Acts. We talked about the spread of Christianity, spread like wildfire across the country. People's lives being changed, people being healed, people finding hope, people being renewed and refreshed all over the land. We are, folks, an Easter people. Even when we don't have pastels and bonnets on, we're an Easter people. And we are reminded each year at this time that we are indeed an Easter people, and we walk the resurrected life. And so why is it so many of us still want to walk around like it's Good Friday? Huh? Embrace the resurrection. Embrace the glory of this day. Not just this day, but every day. You know, we may have some Good Fridays in our lives, but always remember Sunday's coming. Right? Sunday's coming. Don't let go of that. No, because out of death comes new life. And we're reminded each year at this time that there's things that are old that we have to let go of in order to embrace the new. What are you holding on to? What Good Friday are you still living in here that you need to let go of to be able to move on to live that fully resurrected life? That God said, I came that you may have life abundant and life to the fullest. Let go. Because out of death comes new life. And resurrection power is about transformation, isn't it? You think that it wasn't a transformative experience? Look, read the book of Acts again. And that same resurrection power is ours today to have and to hold and to experience. I want to share with you a story that I believe fits the day. It's a basketball story, believe it or not. Those people want to know if I played, and the answer is they hate me. Anyway, there was a group of incarcerated juveniles who played basketball up near Gainesville, I think. And they had to be in really, really good behavior just to be able to get on the team and to be able to play, because the team traveled out to other schools. And one of the schools that they traveled to was a prep school. One of, probably a little more upscale prep school. And there was two young men on the basketball team at that prep school. When they heard that they were going to play these juveniles again, they said, well, we don't want to do that. And so the coach asked them why. And they said, well, they don't have any fans. Maybe one or two of the parents might show up at the boast. But for the rest of it, it just doesn't seem fair. And so then one of them thought, well, what if we provide some fans for it? And so the two players said, this section right here is going to root for them and cheer for them every time they do something right when they come out. And so they agreed to that. They even got them cheerleaders. They made signs for them. And so when this team, they didn't know anything about it. And so when they came out to play, there were people giving them high five, holding up the signs, cheering them on. They didn't know what to think. Well, guess what? During the basketball game, they got so excited, the people got so into it, that every time anybody on that team did something, everyone cheered. Everyone cheered. And the place got raucous because of that. And at the end, they had interviewed a few of the juveniles, and they said, how was today for you? And he said, my life has been changed. I will never forget this day as long as I live. Never. We don't know the rest of the story of what happened with them. But we do know it was a significant moment in their lives, in their young lives. How is it? How did it feel to have people cheering you on and showing you love and appreciation in spite of whatever you may have done in your past? Whatever guilt, whatever you were holding on to, whatever it is that you were still loved and honored and appreciated for who you are as you were. That's what happened to those young men that day. But that's also part of our story too. That's part of the Easter story. That no matter what our past, no matter what it is, that we are loved, we are appreciated, and that God is indeed with us. And matter of fact, maybe cheering us on, waiting to give us a high five. Most of all, I think what they got that day was hope. They got hope like you wouldn't believe. Hope that there is a better world. Hope that there is a place for them. Hope that matters. Today, brothers and sisters, is the first day of the rest of your life. And it can be the very best day. Because from this day forward, you will be writing the rest of the story of your life, both as individuals and as a congregation. And let me give you a sneak preview. With Christ, it's going to be a great story. And it's going to be one worth remembering. Let it be one that celebrates the resurrection power given to you as a child of God. Rise up, brothers and sisters. Rise up in faith. Rise up in hope. Rise up in love. Let this be the best part of your life. Let the rest of the story be one that's a bestseller. Because it sure sounds like one to me, with Christ and the risen Christ. Amen.